Hey guys, Jay here. Welcome to Models Memories Weekly, episode 76. Models and Memories is a show about nothing and is filmed in front of a live studio audience. This is a show where I talk about my painting, modeling, and wargaming experiences from the week. Now you might be thinking to yourself, Jay, you put out 3 videos a week and you stream every single weeknight. Ow! Could you possibly have more to say? Well, I do, and here goes. This week, or actually I think it was maybe 1 or 2 weeks back, Games Workshop showed off some old models, and at the time I didn't take a super hard look at them, especially since their rules were so bad. But their re-release is very, very interesting. And what on earth am I talking about? The Gillerpox Infected and the Ophidian Star Striders coming back to Kill Team. These guys were absolutely bizarre. They came out of nowhere. They came in a box set designed around the rules for Kill Team 2018, back when it was just a complete port of Warhammer 40k 8th edition. These teams were the worst kill teams in Kill Team 2018. They would die pretty much instantly. They were horrible. They had some kind of flavorful rules going on, but nothing that could do anything against some of the top teams of old Kill Team, which was like Imperial Guard, Plasma Spam, and Adeptus Mechanicus Plasma Spam. Like these guys were right down there with Kroot and Space Marines when I played them, because I could not make a 3-up save to save my life. In Kill Team 2018, I played Space Marines a lot, and I would lose so hard all the time because my guys would get shot, and I'm like, I have a 3-up save. I've got really good armor. Just dies every single time. But what's weird, these guys are not new. They came out before and then they were discontinued for a long time. Now they're coming back. These guys feel like they were made for new Kill Team. Like Kill Team 21 is designed around a team of around 10 dudes who all have a little something special to them. You've got the sniper, you've got the medic, you've got the close combat leader, you've got the heavy, you've got the wild card, and you've got the knifey guy. And all of those things are present in these teams, but like 2 years before the game made any use of those sorts of things. And so if we look at the Euclidean Star Striders, which I don't know why I was just not feeling these models at the time, because they're actually pretty darn dope. These are some rogue traders. Rogue traders, of course, are the UPS of the far, far future. Imagine these guys rocking out of a UPS truck with this giant just minigun to deliver your package. But these guys are so cool. We've got a Death Cult Assassin, some guy with Tesla coils on his head. We've got a puppo, a cute little puppo with some armor on him. We've got a medic who I'm sure having razor blade hands like Freddy Krueger is great for delicate medical procedures. Like if you take a bullet, does she have to do everything with her left hand so that she can keep her right hand like perfectly good and clean, so that, okay, well, we'll get the closing off of you, get rid of that bullet, and now we go in with the death claw to heal you. But these guys are really cool, and they're really cool now that every single one is gonna have individual unique rules that make them special and interesting to play in Kill Team, and they're gonna have great interactions with the other units in the game. Like I could see these guys, Kill Team 2021 is pretty well balanced, and I'm sure these guys are gonna be players. You're gonna be able to get these guys and play them in Kill Team, and you're not going to 100% lose like used to happen in old Kill Team. I think they played maybe slightly better in Kill Team Arena, which was like the awful competitive version of Kill Team 2018, where you were playing on like a D&D drawn map, and you had physical doors, but you had to just imagine the walls, which New Kill Team is fixing. And the Gillerpox Infected. These are some folks who have been Nurglified, but they don't really know they've been Nurglified. They're a lot like the Warcry warbands, where they're just folks who have, they've got some problems. These guys are clearly super Nurgle, but they don't worship the Nurgle god. They don't have the little fly symbol or any weird 7 motifs going on with them. They're just some folks who are either having a real bad time or a really good time. And I can't wait to see the rules for these guys because it looks like there's 20 models. It looks like you've got 7 guys, 4 big brutes on, it looks like 40 millimeter bases, and then everybody else is on 25 millimeters. You've got 3 kind of normal fellas that look a lot like Poxwalkers, and then you've got the rest of the 20 models are all little grubs and flies and nurglings. And I would love it if you can play with all 20 models in Kill Team. I think the most models you can take into Kill Team currently is 14. I think Gene Stealer Cult and Imperial Guard can take all 14 models, and then everybody else is around 10. Space Marines are 6, Custodes are 4. But I would love it if you can take all 20 models, and maybe, perhaps, the little nurglings and flies and grubs will have General Activation 3. So General Activation, almost everything in Kill Team is General Activation 1, meaning when it's your turn to perform an activation, you can move 1 model. But if you have General Activation 2, which some things do have, like plain Imperial Guardsman or Orc Gretchen, you can actually move 1 guy, perform actions, and then move another guy and perform actions before your opponent gets to make a move. I think if these guys are truly terrible in terms of stats, General Activation 3 could super make up for that. Just imagine like you got this little swarm of flies coming at you. That could make for an incredibly, incredibly unique Kill Team. The first example of General Activation 3 that I just made up. That's not necessarily true, but I think it should be. That would be so much fun. Because you've got tons of little piddly nothings that are going to die if they're looked at, and then you got these big brute bruisers. They're probably not going to be incredibly amazing, like not Custodes amazing, or the Crutox model is another huge 40 millimeter model. It's like the biggest model you can actually take in Kill Team, and it can take a punch, although it's so big that it dies immediately because it's hard to hide it behind stuff. But yeah, I'm actually really excited for the Euclidean Star Striders and the Gellerpox Infected. I think that these are going to be really cool, really interesting, and really unique Kill Teams. And man, this brings us to like 33 different Kill Teams. Like 33 different factions for this one skirmish game. That's pretty wild. 40K only has like 24. But they've come out with a lot of really interesting, unique stuff for Kill Team. And it's neat to just get more of it just dumped right on us. Oh, and Games Workshop just came out with the free rules for the Space Marine Intercessor Kill Team. So yeah, Kill Team is doing good. There's hundreds of models available in Kill Team, and still all I ever hear about is Terminators. Can you play Terminators in Kill Team? You cannot currently play Terminators in Kill Team. But really, I'm who cares about the Ophidian Star Striders and the Gellerpox Infected, because next week, Games Workshop is going to make their new Kill Team box, Kill Team Into the Dark, which I don't know why, but every time I read Kill Team Into the Dark, I just think, Kill Team, turned down for what? I don't know why, that's just what's in my head. It's what's in my head and it's what's in my heart. But this box goes available for pre-order next week, and it looks amazing. And everybody, you gotta get this from Games Workshop. You gotta go to the Games Workshop web store, and you should definitely purchase it there. Don't get it from an online retailer or your friendly local game store to support them and to get a big discount on the box. You have to get it from Games Workshop because you get this little tiny tin. You get a little 10-cent tin box. It's very nice. It's embossed. It's got some printing that you can keep your Kill Team dice and your tokens in. So huge incentive to buy from Games Workshop direct. You get a adorable little tin. As cute as it is, I think that's fine, because they are making it available to buy from the places that you actually want to buy it from at the same time as it's coming out normally. There hasn't been any word on this as being like sort of a limited release or anything like that, like the original Kill Team box was, because it was right in the middle of the old lockdown situation and they didn't have enough boxes. Yeah. It's fine. It's just funny that they're like, guys, please buy it from us. We'll give you a tin. We ordered 1 billion of these from China for 5 cents a piece. Is this sweetening the deal? Yeah, I am very excited to pick up Kill Team Into the Dark from my friendly local game store. I'll miss out on that tin, but you know what? It's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt. The FOMO is real, but I think I can live without that tin. But speaking of free things Games Workshop, also in the month of September, there's going to be, every month Games Workshop has their Warhammer stores give out a free miniature if you show up, which is pretty cool. I've gotten some cool stuff. I got a Idoneth Deepkin from Age of Sigmar, and I think I also got a Stormcast Eternal, a Thunderstrike Stormcast Eternal. And that was really, really cool. I just have them. I can paint them up whenever I want. And the model for September is going to be a Hearthkin Warrior, a squat. And I don't know if this means that the squats are gonna come in September, like if they're gonna come out the week after the Kill Team box shows up. Probably, that's probably what's gonna happen, but I think it would be really cool if the first way to get a squat, not including the Necromunda squats, which you can buy right now, but the first way to get a 40k Hearthkin Warrior squat model is by visiting a Warhammer store and getting the free miniature of the month. I think that is gonna be really cool. I'm gonna be showing up to my friendly local Warhammer store and trying to pick one of these models up. I think that is really neat. Again, probably, they haven't told us when you're gonna be able to actually buy the squats. I would assume that they're gonna be available to buy alongside picking these up at your Warhammer store, because that would be like a weird, crazy, risky marketing move to have like people trying to go to Warhammer stores to pick up one free squat model before the official releases happened. But I think it would be neat, and I think it'd be kind of cool and fun. And alongside the squats, while you're in the store, you'll also be able to acquire September's coin of the month while stocks last, which is also Leagues of Votann themed and will be available from the 3rd of September. The coins are really dumb. I think the coins, you have to buy a certain, there's like a certain price threshold of like purchases, and then you can have the coin added onto your purchase. Number one, they don't even look good. I mean, they're like a big, heavy pop metal something or other that's been spray painted either silver or chrome or gold. They're not that good. If you just happen to be purchasing enough stuff from Warhammer Direct that the coin comes with, that's fine. But don't be like, well, I was gonna pick up these Ophidian Destroyers for my Necrons, but I might as well grab the Tombstalker too while I'm here and then I get the Necron coin. Don't do that. It's silly, it's dumb, it's gimmicky. The only way I could see the coins being cool is like Warhammer 40k is a universe that's like lived in, and they do have currency. I mean, there's the Imperial Gillette, which is like the coin of the Imperium. Every race of the 40k universe has their own currency. Probably not the Tyranids if I had to guess, but there would probably be a way to do a Tyranid coin, like maybe a Imperium coin that's been like stomped on by a Gene Stealer or something, or with like slashes in it. What I'm trying to say is, if they made the coins replica props from in-universe of 40k, and that wouldn't even be that hard to do. Like I've seen like on Alibaba or like those like cheap China reseller sites, you can get like interesting fake currencies that look pretty dang good for nothing. So I think if Games Workshop was serious about this coin business, if they actually did something really cool with the coins, I could see them being an interesting collector's item for people who care. Right now, they're just kind of nothing. I mean, they're just weirdly large coins that have a cheap graphic slapped on there that an intern could have put together in Photoshop in a few minutes. Do something cool. I don't get it. I don't know. Maybe they know a coin guy who kind of stinks, but he works cheap, and so that's how they're keeping these rolling. But yeah, don't be lured in by coins, people. But Games Workshop is not the only company making miniatures, and I really like looking at miniatures from other companies. And this week I saw a model that knocked my socks off. It was so weird and wacky and bizarre. And that model is the new Drop Zone Commander, Sheltari Behemoth. Drop Zone Commander is a really, really neat game. It's technically 3 games. It's Drop Zone Commander, Drop Fleet Commander. Isn't there a medium one? It's definitely Drop Zone Commander and Drop Fleet Commander. Drop Zone Commander, I forget the exact scale it's in, but like your character, it's kind of like Epic Warhammer or Epic 40k, if anybody remembers those games from back in the day, where your infantry are tiny, tiny little peanuts sitting on little bases. And then you've got these really cool vehicles and drop ships, if you can believe it, and all sorts of land vehicles. They have an aircraft carrier that's on treads. That's really sweet. And this model, the Behemoth for the Shaltari, which the factions are actually kind of interesting. there's regular old humans, as you'd imagine, and then there's like future humans who are a little bit elfy in their design. But then you've got the two alien factions. One of them is a parasitic alien that's very H.R. Geiger, like purpley, fluidy, organic, gross, bioorganic, bioluminescent. You know, those guys, which are really, really cool. And then you got these guys, the Sheltari, which are like, they're just kind of like a new alien that doesn't really exist yet. And their technology is like looking through a kaleidoscope. It's kind of looks like a little bit like coral, like rainbow coral that you'd see in like underwater. It's really, really interesting. And this model is a weird like coral skyscraper. It's amazing. It's got guns for days. It's got thousands of little crab claws so that it can just scuttle around. It looks so cool. I just think this model is amazing. I would love to give this game a try one of these days. I have so many games and so little time. But I would definitely, if I got into Drop Zone Commander, I would be very tempted to pick up some of the big ol' models. I do have a miniature for Drop Fleet Commander, which is the other game, which is a space combat game where you've got humongous ships flying around the vacuum of space and doing battle with one another. And the games can actually be linked where the space battles kind of are the precursor to the ground battles and vice versa. It's a really, really neat game. And I just thought this model was sick. And I wanted to share it with everybody because everybody needs to see that. It's really cool. Also, a few weeks back, I was wondering what the new price of this Kill Team box, Kill Team turned down for what, was going to be. And I was really worried that it was going to be like $300 because the Warcry box was pretty darn expensive, and every single box for Kill Team has been more expensive than the one before it. And this box comes with a lot more stuff than those other boxes that were slowly climbing up in price. So I was really worried we were gonna be looking at like between $250 and $300, and that was gonna be really, really upsetting. But Spiky Bits has confirmed that the new box is going to go for $210, which is still a lot of money. But $210 is $10 more than Octeris. And I think that is not bad. That is a giant pill that I can just get down. Obviously, $50 would have been really cool and amazing, but it's way better than $300, which honestly, I feel like they could have. I feel like this is like the Age of Darkness box for $30K was $300. And it came with a lot of stuff for sure, but I feel like it wasn't dramatically more than came in this box. And I feel like Games Workshop, they have a way about them, let's just say. And I would not have batted an eye if it was $300. And I've been like, yep, that makes perfect sense. Thanks, G-dubs. But yeah, $210, I can live with it. It's fine. It's much better than I was expecting. But speaking of drama, anybody out there ever used Battlescribe? It is the app-based list building program for tons of different war games, but it's also super helpful for 40K as like the big one, because 40K is a nightmare to list build for. Honestly, I would love it. I know people love the list building. I know they love adding up their points. I know that they love doing all of the stuff, but I don't like it. I'm Age of Sigmar has a pretty good list building where everything's in 5s and 10s, so I can do all the math in my head. And it's a lot easier, and it's very specific with what units you're allowed to take, which makes it a little easier when assembling your army. Where 40K, it's a little bit more like you can do sort of anything you want, but you can only take so many orc buggies, and you're limited on how many flyers you can take, and you must do this, and you must do that, and you do that. Anyway, Battlescribe is super helpful. I use it constantly to find the rules for things, because another big thing about 40K is you kind of have to know everything. Like, you can't just not know what your opponent's up to. So I really like using Battlescribe to find out all of the different values for different units. But Battlescribe, the creator of Battlescribe, created Battlescribe, and then he kind of left for 2 years, and the app was just still running just fine. And there were contributors, there were heroes who were contributors, making sure that all of the new updated rules were making their way into the Battlescribe data. But the Apple App Store says that if 2 years without any updates or communication for your app, they declare that it is abandonware and they get it off of the site. And that happened. And so people were like, oh no, because like half of people have iPhones and stuff. And so all of a sudden, if you have it downloaded, you're sort of safe because it's on your device. But if you don't have it, you can no longer get it from the App Store. So there was a little bit of drama and people didn't know what they were going to do. But luckily the creator has come back and he got it all taken care of and it is now back on the App Store. But it is, it is a little interesting, and it has been pointed out by some of the people who were keeping the source data of like up to date and in line with the current release for Games Workshop. It's a little bit bad news bears, a little bit bad taste in the mouth that, no updating, no working on this app, no communication whatsoever until the app left the App Store and, the revenue from the app disappeared. It's kind of, I mean, I would probably do the exact same thing if I'm honest. But it's not the nicest thing to do in the world. But it is great that you can currently, right now, I just did it before this video to make sure you can download Battlescribe from the Apple App Store. And speaking of units that I looked up in Battlescribe to get their stats because I don't own the codex, my Drukhari, I almost said Dark Eldar, but Games Workshop would have sued me. My Drukhari Hellions. I bought these, I think I showed them off when I had built them. These guys, I bought them on a whim for 20 bucks off of eBay because I thought that was a good deal and they seemed like fun models to build. And I'm almost done painting them. I'm painting them live on camera. By the way, I live stream every weeknight from 9 to 10 p.m. Central. Come hang out. I've been having tons of fun painting these guys up. And what's great, when I stream, the way it works is I have a massive pile of shame and I let my Patreon supporters over on Patreon select what models I paint from my pile of shame. And so I'm always painting random things that I bought years ago or things that I just bought. And so I try out a lot of different painting schemes and often I learn, oh, I don't really like painting the Daughters of Cain. But I've discovered I really, really enjoy painting the Dark Eldar. I'm doing kind of a triads thing. I'm doing magenta and turquoise, and then I'm gonna be doing like an ochre yellow on the hair and on the bases. And that is looking really, really good. And I've kind of been looking for a reason to start playing the Dark Eldar because one of my all-time favorite miniatures is the Forge World Tantalus. I'm sure I've said it multiple times on this show before. That model is one of the coolest miniatures ever made, and I want one in the collection. But I don't just want to have a Tantalus sitting on the shelf, for no purpose. But, if I have a Dark Eldar army, and, the Tantalus is sitting right in the middle of it, looking like a beautiful centerpiece, a pink and teal clipper ship with all the rigging, I think that would be phenomenal. So these guys are sweet. Also, Dark Eldar, since they're really old models, and they have had their prices go up, but they haven't gone up as dramatically as some of the newer, the factions that have brand new models for 40K. I think the models still look sick. So I think Dark Eldar might be a good, fairly inexpensive army to start for Warhammer 40,000. I almost wish when Games Workshop discontinued a bunch of the models, they discontinued a bunch of the resin models for Dark Eldar. Drukhari, I'm sorry everybody. Drukhari army not that long ago. I almost wish I picked some of them up. Some of them made sense to go away, but some of them were kind of cool. I think I'll miss the Sliths, the little snake people. But yeah, I really like these Hellions. I think I'm gonna do another batch of 5 Hellions, and for these ones, I have them magenta with teal accents, and I think on the next batch, I'm gonna have them be teal with magenta accents. And I think that will look really cool all mixed up together. Because I think I'm done with paint schemes that are all homogeneous, one single big color. Because then I get really, really bored painting that one color. But if on my Dark Eldar, I have some of them be teal and some of them be pink. And you know what? Maybe I'll even make some of them ochre yellow with pink and teal accents. I'll have multiple colors to play around with. And as long as they're all based the same way and they're all sitting next to each other, I think it'll actually look better than if every single model in the army was magenta with a couple of other colors on top. But I'm really looking forward to these guys. I actually have all of the flight stands off kilter. And then that way I can have my Dark Eldar in real wacky and random poses. I don't really like the Games Workshop flight stands, but the ones like these that work pretty well, really, really light model. I made the bases really heavy with milliput and wood. And then you got that ball joint. I actually think that's not too bad. Not too bad flying stands. I think though one of them does a big awful bubble in it. Yep, this guy. Don't look at the bubble. It's so bad. Is it? It looks really bad to have the bubbles. Games Workshop stuff is super, super premium. Why not just go through the clear sprues that you sell in your kits and take out ones with bubbles? Would it really be that bad? Like, it probably is a lot. Like, it's probably 1 in 5, but Games Workshop, you make good stuff and you charge a premium for it. Just do that one little thing. Just that one little thing. Make sure that there's not horrible bubbles in your flying stands. Although I suppose Lego does it too with Lego lightsabers. They often have bubbles. Although I think they've gotten better at that because I think on a lot of the new Star Wars kits, I think that they've come up with some sort of a process where you don't get bubbles. I think they actually changed the formula for their transparent plastic. So that's awesome. Games Workshop, go give Denmark a call and get that technology going. But I'm having lots of fun painting up some Drukhari. And speaking of things that are lots of fun, that's right, our Patreon. Over there, we have tons of super cool STLs, both miniatures and terrain, all hosted by comics, games, and things. We've got tons and tons of super cool terrain packs to populate your wargaming tables, and if you sign up, you get a welcome pack that includes Dawn of War terrain for the Space Marines, the Eldar, and the Imperial Guard. Some really cool stuff, check it out. We also make one extra episode of Eons of Battle a week, where we take a look at our viewers' models and we give them some critiques and feedback. And every single week we have a Discord hangout live where we all just hop into a room and chit chat the night away. We also have merch, link in the description. That Sheltari Behemoth is really, really cool. And it'd be super dumb for the first miniature I pick up for a war game to be the $100 flagship 18-inch tall vehicle that you'd probably only take in like apocalyptic sized games, but I don't know, it's not out of the realm of possibility. I don't know. Well, before I go make some bad decisions, bye-bye.